Coming up on today's Airborne, a P-51 Mustang went down July 4th, with 2 fatally injured. Virginia Aviation Museum wins tax relief from City Council. And the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds flight times are set for Oshkosh. Welcome to Airborne on Aero-TV. I'm Ashley Hale. We're sad to report that the crash of a World War II P-51D Mustang took the lives of its 2 occupants. Reports indicate that the crash occurred shortly after takeoff from Durango-La Plata County Airport, Colorado, on July 4th. It was reported by one source that the aircraft crashed shortly after takeoff. The victims of the crash are reported to be the owner of the airplane, John Early, and a man who is reported to have been his flight instructor, Michael Schlard. It's not clear if this was an instructional flight. Details are sketchy at this time, and the NTSB is investigating the accident. In the meantime, our condolences go out to the families involved in this tragic event. Many of our reports about the relationship between city councils and airports are about problems, so we're happy to report that this one is about cooperation. The Virginia Beach, Virginia City Council last week voted 8-1 to waive real estate and personal property taxes for the Military Aviation Museum. The tax bill was estimated to be over $81,000 this year. It's reported that the museum owner, Jerry Yegan, had at one point put the airplanes up for sale. Yegan is also the owner of Training Services Incorporated, which owns the 57 vintage airplanes, which are housed, displayed, and flown by the museum. The city council vote means that Yegan will not have to pay personal property taxes on the warbirds. You're watching Airborne. We'll be back after these messages with more news and our feature of the day.
Since the early days of powered flight, pilots have struggled with landing in crosswinds. In fact, crosswinds and wind gusts cause more landing accidents than fog, thunderstorms, and icing combined. That's where the Redbird X-Wind SE comes in. By placing pilots in gusty crosswind conditions for extended periods of time, the X-Wind SE gives instructors all the time they need to teach the pilot the proper techniques for landing in crosswind conditions. For more information on Redbird X-Wind SE and Redbird's entire line of flight training devices, visit www.redbirdflightsimulation.com.
Welcome back. If you'd like to support Airborne, Aero-TV, our website, or our podcast, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. The schedule is now set for the first ever full show by the Air Force Thunderbirds at EAA AirVenture Oshkosh on August the 1st through the 3rd. Tom Patton reports.
The performances are part of the daily afternoon air show at Oshkosh on each of those days. The Thunderbirds will perform what they describe as a practice show, which is a full dress rehearsal for the weekend at 5 p.m. on Friday, August 1st. This comes at the end of the regular afternoon air show. Then on Saturday, August 2nd, the Thunderbirds will again fly at 5 p.m. as the final performers in the afternoon air show, which once again features World War II era aircraft and full pyrotechnics. The Thunderbirds will wrap up their inaugural Oshkosh performances at 3 p.m. on Sunday, August 3rd, as the closing act in the last air show of AirVenture 2014. The Thunderbirds performances require a larger aerobatic box, which will necessitate a slight move of the crowd line to the west during the afternoon air show performances on those days. Only essential authorized air show personnel are permitted inside the box during the Thunderbirds performances. For Airborne, I'm Tom Patton.
With some 2,000 Aero-TV programs under our belt, it can be fun to look back and enjoy some of the places we've seen, the flyers we've met, and the planes we've flown. Here's a look at one of our favorite Aero-TV classic episodes.
We think that there's an opportunity to do the same sort of a step function improvement when it comes to loss of control in the airport environment. And we believe that angle of attack indicators will play a big role. So we worked hard to develop one, and we think it's just top notch for GA. And we are doing it at a very affordable price point. I mean, $1,600 and then a very easy installation, completely separate from all your other systems. Goes in a little access panel in the bottom of the wing, so you don't have to add any new penetrations.
Bendix King's Kevin Gold talks about the avionics technology for type certificated and experimental aircraft. A particular interest is their angle of attack indicator. Search Bendix King Builds the Future on Aero-TV's news channel. A train carrying 6 Boeing 737 fuselages from Spirit Aerosystems in Wichita to Boeing's final assembly plant in Renton, Washington, derailed about 18 miles east of Superior, Montana last Thursday, dumping 3 of the fuselage assemblies into the Clark Fork River. In all, 19 of the train's cars came off the tracks. The other 3 fuselage assemblies also came off the train, but remained on land. In a statement, Boeing said that it had been informed that a BNSF train carrying 6 737 fuselages and other assemblies derailed near Rivulet, Montana. We have deployed experts to the scene to begin a thorough assessment of the situation, Boeing said. The cause of the derailment remains under investigation. Airborne is brought to you by some of the best sponsors in the aviation business. We'll be right back after these messages.
ADS-B will be mandatory for most aircraft by 2020 in the United States, but you can benefit from ADS-B today with the Bendix King KT-74 Mode S transponder. The KT-74 meets the global mandates for ADS-B out when attached to a suitable WAAS GPS. Finally, the extraordinary story of the world-changing X-Prize space competition is being told and illustrated with hundreds of insider photos in Jim Campbell's colorful new book, Beyond the Blue. Journey with Jim as he flies formation with spaceships, plays in zero gravity, prepares rocket racers, and documents the amazing first decade of the personal space race. Available this summer. Get your advance order in now by checking out www.kindredspirit.com.
Welcome back. An entrepreneur has initiated a Kickstarter campaign to bring back a classic Burt Rutan design. The airplane, formerly known as the Vari-Eze, has been reborn as the Raptor RZ-1, which entrepreneur Keith Murphy says on his Kickstarter page will be a smaller, faster airplane that will cruise longer and be much easier and quicker to build. Murphy says the frame will use 4130 chrome moly steel, which is quite different from Rutan's original design. Murphy says that the kit will come with an assembled frame with the carbon fiber lower fuselage already boned in place. The builder will then install interior components and the engine, and will build the wings and the empennage. Murphy is looking to the public through the crowdfunding site to help finance the prototype and get it flying. If the idea of doing a tailspin makes you queasy, think about the guy that first did one intentionally with only a theory as to the recovery procedure. As a tribute to the first intentional spins performed in aviation, 8-time master instructor Rich Stowell recently published a 5.5-minute YouTube video demonstrating the spins done by aviation pioneer Harry Hawker in June and July of 1914. According to Stowell, quote, Hawker's daring demonstration of the ability to deliberately spin and recover undoubtedly opened the door for the scientific study of spin dynamics. Unfortunately, mythology, bad information, and fear continue to drive a lot of current-day training regarding stalls and spins, end quote. In addition to presenting an interesting history lesson, Stowell hopes the video will encourage more pilots to seek out spin training from instructors who possess the appropriate knowledge, skills, and equipment for the job. Rich Stowell has performed more than 33,000 spins in 230 spin-approved airplanes. Well, that's our program. Remember to get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Please remember, Airborne is streamed 3 times a week and is always online. Join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for a new episode. And by the way, there are now only 18 more days left to Oshkosh. I'm Ashley Hale. Thanks for watching.